Hello, everyone. Welcome to another scene for Darkness in Dublin, Werewolf the Apocalypse venue. This scene, of course, takes place on Sept because pretty much everyone is staying on Sept now for the remainder of the very large threat over the city. But in the meantime, while there's not too terribly much going on in the Sept of Forgotten Stories, the dead mother, Dazzles the Young, is going to be. She approaches. She goes to look for Pounce. What is Pounce doing?
Um, Pounds is Umbral side, and she seems to be digging a den next to her already existing den. Um, as he knows that's, or hope maybe knows, since it's similar looking, that is going to be the beginning of the shrine that she's going to make for her dream ravens.
Yes.
The little hatchling is basically kind of perked on her shoulders, like in between her shoulder blades. Um, and yeah, just you can see Pounds' hind legs and her tail, and a lot of dirt flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
So yes, she finds her in the Ember, which she kind of knew that she'd be in the Ember because that's where she's been since the incident, for the most part.
Mhm.
Um, and so yeah, she'll watch her dig for a few minutes. She could probably sense her presence, as she does have a pretty commanding spirit heritage presence with Grandfather Thunder and Black Unicorn.
Mhm.
Um, but she'll watch her, and then she'll speak up, and she'll say, "Hi, Pounce."
Mm. The digging stops. Tail kind of swings up, and then backward stepping, backward stepping, backward stepping. Turn around. Moment of thinking, because can't really roll over with like the little spirit on her back.
Uh-huh.
She'll just kind of tip her head back.
She shakes her head. You don't have to. It's okay. She'll come over to her.
Hello.
I know you've been through a lot the past few days, and I'm really sorry about what's happened. I am glad that it sort of seemed to have brought you and Bailey together, which he really could use a friend. I think that you could too.
No, I will just kill who did this.
She nods. The little spirit looks up at Dazzles curiously and chirps. She smiles. Do you mind if I hold it?
No, I do not mind.
She'll put her hand down, and the little spirit will move over to her hands, and she'll bring it up, cradle it very gently. It seems to be pretty content with her. Because storm
Pounds.
crows and ravens are cousins to the dream ravens, so.
Yeah, Pounds says that she doesn't mind, and she does not, but she's like, her eyes are just sort of watching.
Mhm. Um, well, there's been something that's been on my mind for a little while, and I didn't want to bring it up to you right away because you had just been through a lot. Again, it seems like she's like she thinks to herself. It seems to be a pattern.
That's
Like
totally
you were
not
just
because Pounds is played by me.
I know, right? Totally not. Fucking masochist.
God damn it.
But she'll say at that point you had just had your first change, and I wanted you to adjust to being a Garu and getting used to everything there before I brought this up. Ever since I first saw your Homid form, it's been very, very familiar to me. You felt a bit familiar to me even before that too. And I want to do a rite of heritage to make sure, but I think I know your mother.
My mother.
She nods.
Quick question, because I remember we talked about this in the past. Because my background still says mom was
right. I changed it. Mom's Garu and father's
right.
Chinabuk.
Okay, check. Yeah. Okay, then I need to actually change that in backstory. Yeah. So Pounds is just gonna, cock her head to the side, then put it back up in, normal pose. And I do not know my mother. I know my father. He is dead.
She'll nod.
Or gone, at least. I think he is dead.
I haven't seen who I think is your mother in a while, not since I came here to Dublin, but where I'm from, where I'm from originally is Argentina, but where I spent the majority of my Garu life was in San Francisco, California. And
Which Pounds looks clueless. Like, absolutely clueless.
which is in the country where your tribe is from.
Oh.
There are a lot of Uktena in California. Because they came up from Mexico and South America.
I will remember California then.
But I could have her come here. Her name that she goes by is Seeker. Her deed name is Seeker of the Ancient Waves. You look exactly like her. And I know that something had to have happened because she never would abandon her children.
I do not know what happened. I never knew her.
She'll nod. If you want, I can do the right to make sure, and if you'd like to meet her, I can have her come here. I can send for her. As far as I know, she's still in the Sept in San Francisco.
Is it a Homid thing to meet your mother? Is it normal?
Yes.
Oh,
We have relationships with our parents our whole lives.
then
Mostly.
I would like to meet her.
She'll nod.
It is.
No, go ahead.
It is strange, though. I do not miss my mother. She was not there. But I am curious.
She nods, of course. I think a lot of times mothers will sometimes care more for their children than they do for them, especially if they didn't know them. But I know that you and whoever was born with you, because I know that she had more than one, have always been in the back of her mind. I'm very sure, if I know her as well as I think I do.
I have brothers.
She'll nod.
Is
Do you think you'd like to find them, or
they were in the truck with me.
oh, so they were the kinfolk we rescued?
Mm, I think maybe. I know I killed one of them in the box. Sometimes they put us in a big box and then they set us to fight. Or they put stuff in us and that made us fight or made us very angry.
Okay. She nods. I'm so sorry. I know wolves do view their families differently, but I'm sure that that was not something you wanted to do.
No, but he was. It was me or him, and I did not want to die.
Of course.
Alright, fire is the number one solution. It cleanses everything. So that means this.
I don't have the background. That was said fire is not one solution. I was like, fire is totally one solution.
Alex is watching somebody streaming. So it's funny.
Fire is always a solution. Because it does egg.
Yes. No, I completely agree. We like to, the liberal use of fire is encouraged. Um, so Saskia, if you want, I can time skip just a little bit to like the next day, and if you want to meet Seeker in this scene, we can do that.
Okay. Oh boy.
Because she'll moonbridge, so it won't take that long.
Oh boy. Let me get a little bit more serious pounds out because silly pounds is silly.
I mean, silly pounds can completely be out. It's completely fine. Seeker will not care.
I mean, I don't think pounds is silly lately, or like since 2 days ago.
Yeah,
There
no,
we go.
just
Not silly.
so yeah. So yeah, Alyssa will essentially, quote, make the call. And the Sept in San Francisco will locate Seeker, and Seeker will come over via Moonbridge. It'll take her a few hours, but she'll get there by morning. We'll say that this took place in the evening, and she'll get there by morning. And so when she gets there, Dazzles will come and get Pounce.
Pounce will probably be curled up in her den at that point with, like, you know, little hatchling.
Yep. And since Seeker is Garu and Thayer, she can definitely cross over. So yeah, she'll bring her across, and she'll stand there in her Hamid form.
Yep, Pounce will slowly get out of her den. Her tail is sort of, you know, like pointing straight backwards. Sort of, it seems to be quivering. And she'll very slowly sort of approach and starts, you know, doing that thing where Lupus kind of greet each other with, like, you know, sniffing.
Yep, which, as a Lupus herself, she definitely does not mind that. She just stands there quietly, letting Pounce sniff her. She's just kind of like looking at her almost curiously, but also with almost a look of relief too. And she's not tearing up or anything, but she's definitely, like, you know, feeling like that she's relieved to see one of her wolf cubs alive.
After Pounce is basically like circles around Seeker and has sniffed her out, she is going to actually stand on her hind legs, placing her front paws kind of like, you know, against Seeker's shoulders, or on her shoulders, depending on how, you know, far she can reach. And just kind of gets her nose right in her mother's face, and lick, and then she'll back off.
Seeker smiles so wide, and she'll actually she'll go ahead and shift to Lupus and go over to Pounce and nuzzle her for, you know, just a second.
Yeah, there'll definitely be some like, you know, bites. Nothing too hard, but just, you know, kind of Lupus style, kind of testing, like, how far can I go? How far can I go? Oh, that far. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and she'll, like, yeah, of course, you know, like mothers do with their children, when she's had enough, she'll let her know and like, nip back or, you know, growl slightly or, you know, whatever, that kind of thing. And Dazzles will just stand there. Dazzles herself is just kind of like, you know, tears streaming down her fucking face witnessing this. Like, you know, she's just standing there watching very quietly. But it's like, you know, with these two being Lupus, they don't really need any verbal confirmation. It's just,
yeah,
you know, a lot of and she will eventually speak to her, and she'll say, I heard what happened a few days ago, and I'm really sorry. If you want help, I can help you.
I am angry
Of
at
course.
this man. I want to kill him.
I want to kill him too.
Okay.
He hurt spirits. He hurt you. I want to kill him.
Then I do not mind helping. She's trying to find the words to say yes, please, but not something she's used to say.
For sure. She could just say, help, yes, please, or just help. Yeah, help is good. Help is good.
I think that's exactly what she says. Help is good.
Yeah, and Seeker understands what that means. Seeker has been Gar for quite a while, so she's more versed in Hamid things, but she definitely has not forgotten what it's like to be a wolf. And yeah, she's certainly okay with that. And she'll tell her, you and your brothers and your father were all taken away from me. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
Mm. I was in a bad place.
I just ate, actually.
I'm relieved that you didn't die.
Plenty of it left in the.
And grateful for my friend Dazzles.
Council actually look like, she'll sit like a little straighter and just kind of perks her nose up in the air. I am strong. I am stronger than man in the truck. I killed the truck and I killed the man.
She nods. Yes, you are. You are very strong. You always have been. I remember right after you were born, you were the first one to walk, the first one to knock the others out of the way to get to the milk. You've always been strong.
Pounce will probably look even prouder of herself because yes.
But I am a Theurge like you. And I can teach you about the ways of the Uktena if you would like to join the tribe.
Yes. You smell like me. I would like to be like you.
Good. Then I will stay. And I will help and teach like I should have before you became trapped in the truck. And she will just essentially lay down next to Pounce's den. Like, I'm staying right here.
Pounce will look at her den, then look at her mother, and it's like, den is big enough for two. Also, or no, she won't say two because numbers. The den is big enough for more.
She will then like kind of tilt her head curiously and then give a little wolf nod and go into Pounce's den.
Yep. Yeah, Pounce will follow.
And she doesn't go into like a whole lot of detail right away. She'll wait for Pounds to ask questions, and if you want to do a more in-depth scene with that later, we can, because I do have to go. I gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, right now I didn't really know what to expect, so I don't have any questions yet.
Right. Yeah. So we
Like-
can totally do that another time, but
Cool.
for right now, that's just kind of like she's in Pounce's space, and just give her some time to adjust and they can get used to each other, and then we'll do that. So, yep, sounds good. So, yeah, Dazzles will leave the two of them satisfied with the interaction and is totally fine leaving Pounce under her mother's care, and will exit the Umbra and go back to attending to the other cubs and kinfolk and everything. So I think with that, we will go ahead and end the scene. So thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We will see you next time. Goodbye.